Hi, guys, welcome to my podcast recapping the month of October. We had two episodes of Arrow and we had two episodes of The Walking Dead. So today I'm just going to give a recap of the first two episodes and we'll dive into what worked, what didn't work, and what is going to happen for the season going forward. So let's start with Arrow. So, season 6 of Arrow, to start with, has been a fraction lackluster. It was always going to be hard to recreate season 5, which was extraordinary. It was almost perfect in the way it went about everything, and it was certainly the best season since season 2. They've been unable to capitalize from the season finale of season 5, which was Lian Yu, which was quite possibly the best episode of Arrow ever. What I have liked about season 6 so far is the return of Katie Cassidy to the main cast. Black Siren is a fantastic character, so it's been great to have her back. What I've also liked is the writers fleshing out the storyline between Oliver and William. Would have been very easy for them to say that Oliver took William home from the island and that was that. But the fact that they've delved into that the relationship is complicated, especially because Oliver has never been a dad, and William's been a little bit brainwashed by what Adrian Chase did last season. So the fact that that's a running thing, that Oliver is constantly having issues, I think that makes the situation more believable. So that's been a positive as well. Another thing I've liked is the fact that they haven't revealed the big bad so far this season. Most seasons of Arrow, or most seasons of anything, the big bad is usually revealed in the first episode. So we're kept waiting. We're kept waiting on finding out who this is. And it's left the way open for Black Siren to make a grand entry into season 6. So this combined with we don't know who her boss is, I think leaves us with a lot of intrigue about how the season will develop. Now, what I haven't liked, and there's been quite a few things that I don't think have worked so far in this season. For one, the explosion on the island at the end of season 5 had the potential to really shake up the series, but as we learn in the first episode, actually no one of importance really dies. Samantha dies, but we didn't really get to know her as a character. Thea's in a coma, but Thea wasn't around a lot in season 5, and it seemed like they were trying to write her out of the show in any case. The fact that there was a lack of a major death really didn't capitalize on the build up to the end of last season. Had we had a major death, it really would have packed a punch coming into this season, and I feel it would have driven Team Arrow forward. Whereas no major death, it kind of makes me feel like all that energy was wasted at the end of last season. Adrian Chase had this grand plan to make Oliver suffer, and in the end, he really hasn't suffered at all. Another thing I'm not keen on is the fact that they seem to have revived the relationship between Oliver and Felicity. This isn't good for the show. It's shown it's not good for the show, and it's really only catering to the shippers out there. They don't add anything when they're together, and in fact, they're better off apart. Season 5 clearly showed this, and it allowed both of them to have very intriguing storylines in the season. We saw a dark side to Felicity that we probably wouldn't have seen if she was still in the relationship with Oliver. And we also saw almost a defeated attitude from Oliver when he was chasing down Adrian Chase, and Adrian Chase was always 10 steps ahead of him. I feel it just builds character development for the two, and it's easy to put them in a relationship and everything's good, but we know that that isn't the case, and they've showed it to us many times, kind of comparing to the relationship of Ross and Rachel on Friends. Will they, won't they? In the end, it was just boring because they showed us that it doesn't really work, and then they slapped them together for the season finale to cater to all the shippers out there and all the people that wanted him in a relationship, and to me, that's just lazy. The other negative I feel about this season is the fact that there's no flashbacks. Now, I know that we were told going in that there would be no flashbacks, and the reason we had flashbacks to start with was to show the time that Oliver was on the island. So by the time we got to season 5, the 5 years was up. So I do understand that, but the flashbacks not in the episode take away a unique part of Arrow. The flashbacks made Arrow different from normal dramas and added an extra storyline to each episode. Whether it was 5 minutes for the episode or 10 minutes for the episode, we got to experience a whole nother story within the story we were being told for that episode. So far, season 6 is just okay. Hopefully, they can build and make this season at least better than 3 and 4, which really petered out. On the positive note, at least it looks like we have an intriguing villain who we haven't even seen yet. So that's it for Arrow. Let's move on to The Walking Dead. So I think we can all agree that season 7 of The Walking Dead was definitely not the best. With the whole group split apart, it did add some outstanding character stories. The Kingdom comes to mind. That was the second episode of season 7. But it lacked action because they were split apart, and every episode was kind of just a standalone episode. It reminded me a lot of the second half of season 4, which clearly wasn't as good as the first half of season 4. And we got that massive battle in the prison for the mid-season finale. But from then on, it was just following each character as they made their way to Terminus. So when season 8 was built up as All Out War, I was very excited that we were getting the group back together and we were getting more action. The first episode for the 100th was definitely a very good episode. I wouldn't say it was one of the best in the series, but it was definitely better than probably 14 episodes of last season. Alexandria, the Hilltop, and the Kingdom came up with a great plan to box Negan and the Saviors in. And for the second time in as many episodes, the Saviors were on the back foot, where we didn't see them on the back foot for nearly all of season 7, barring the last 20 minutes of the season finale. So far in the season, the positives are we've got more action. The first episode showed that. And the second episode, although had a fraction less action, it was still filling us in on all the groups trying to take out all the Savior's bases. It's building into what will be a spectacular finale. Many people will die. No one's died yet, but I think it's just a matter of time. I think we can expect this in the mid season finale, and we can probably expect this arc to last probably 4 episodes, and the last 4 episodes of the first half of this season will be building to what happens to the Saviors and Negan. How many deaths we're going to get, it's hard to say, but I would say there's at least going to be 2, maybe 3 major deaths in the first half of this season. We've seen that time jumps forward. We saw Old Man Rick in the first episode. We don't know how far this is down the track, but it is quite possible that that time skip is coming to us sooner than we think. I don't think it will come after the mid-season finale, but I do believe that we might get that time jump at the start of season 9. There's not a lot of negatives so far. It's a little bit frustrating that we didn't see what Negan did to Father Gabriel at the end of the first episode. So hopefully we'll get that in the third episode. So overall, The Walking Dead has been a lot better than the first 2 episodes of season 7. Although I may be a little bit biased because Glenn was one of my favourite characters. Even so, it's better seeing Rick fight back than be a slave to Negan, which is what we got pretty much for the whole of the first half of last season. They've built up the war so much, let's hope it doesn't peter out. At this stage, season 8 is looking pretty solid, definitely better than season 7, and I'm definitely looking forward to the mid season finale, which is sure to go off with a big bang. So that's it, guys. I was going to do Assassin's Creed Origins as well, but I've only had the chance to play it for 2 to 3 days, so we'll leave that till next month. So far, first impressions are very good. I would probably rate it within the top 5 Assassin's Creeds. That being said, I haven't played enough of it. Assassin's Creed to me is all about the story. The gameplay is clearly excellent, but if the story peters out or it's not as compelling as some of the others, I don't think I could consider it in the top 3 Assassin's Creeds, but we'll wait and see. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to my monthly recap. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Jensen 2010. I've already got 3 reviews up. Each review has a link to my blogspot with a more in-depth review. I've also got some gameplay of Origins so far, and I'll have some gameplay of the new Horizon Zero Dawn DLC. So check out my YouTube channel, and I'll see you all next time.